This is the Kitchen Sink WP podcast, episode 602.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, back in the studio, back home in North Carolina. It's good to be here. And here we go. Upcoming events. We have one WordCamp next weekend. It is WordCamp Vršac. I looked it up how to pronounce that. WordCamp Vršac. It's September 13th and 14th. And if I'm not mistaken, it's in Serbia, if I'm not mistaken. Double check that. Yes, small town. I was looking to see, double check it. I'm pretty sure it's Serbia. All right, it's a town in Serbia. So there you go. Check it out if you're in that part of the world. I won't be there. Next weekend I'm running. Just doing a quick little 20-miler tune-up. So yeah. Anyway, all right, moving on. Segment one in the news. One thing to talk about here, kind of a light news week, but Atlassian acquired the browser company. Now, the reason that's important is a lot of people don't like Atlassian for some reason. You know, they have a ton of apps like services. Jira is one of the most popular ones. Confluence, Crucible, Bamboo, Atlassian Guard. Anyways, I've only used Jira for like a hot second, Confluence, maybe 3 days. This is way back. A lot of project management type of tools. But Atlassian has acquired the browser company of New York, it says. And the browser company is a company behind Arc, the Arc browser, and the new one called Dia. People loved Arc. Some people aren't so happy with Dia. Arc has been stopped for development. I've tested them both. I still have Dia, but I'm not really using it. I need to give it another shot. Anyway, so there's opinions on the ether webs, if you will, and you pick what you want to argue about and live your life. That's how I say it. All right, so there's that. Moving. Anything else in the news? Nope, that's it in the news. All right, so moving right along. Meat potatoes of this week's episode, segment 2. All right, so after chatting with a few friends that started months ago with the milestone episode of 600 that has now come and gone, the idea of this episode was a seed was planted in my brain on what I've learned over the 11 and a half years of doing this as a weekly podcast. And after mulling it over and taking some notes over those past few months, now the last few weeks, I have a few nuggets to share with you of what I've learned after 601 episodes. And I have there's about 600. Yeah, there's one per week. No, I'm kidding. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, maybe 10. I don't know. Anyway, but here they are in no specific order. First and foremost, if I could go back, email marketing. I would tell the past me to start the email list on day one. I did not do this, and that probably didn't help as far as having that direct line to listeners, to y'all, because having that is a way more powerful way. And then just hoping that people listen and, follow me on social, because I've said that in the past, social media and those other platforms are borrowed land. Email is my own turf. I own that list, right? So I've learned that a small, consistent list can build a stronger connection versus, thousands of anonymous downloads. I'm trying to build a list over for silly little goals. It ebbs and flows. I'm about 120 people. I would love to double that, triple that, see where that can go. I don't know. So if you want to go sign up for a list, because I don't really have one right now for this podcast. I don't know if it's working. It might be working. I was at Aweber and now I'm at MailerLite, and I'm not sure if the RSS feed's working. I think it is. It's kind of confusing. I need to really go fix that and clean that up. Anyway, it's on my list of things to do. But Silly Little Goals definitely has a list. It's growing slowly but surely. Anyway, so email marketing, I would definitely go back and make sure that was a primary focus early on, with a lead magnet, with giveaways, with, something else consistently once a month, some sort of, actionable takeaway that you could go download. And Amy Porterfield used to do that all the time. I'm not sure if she still does that or not, but I remember that was her thing. She would have a podcast and an episode with a downloadable, actionable takeaway, etc. So great idea, great, value. I should have done that. Didn't. Moving on. All right. Second thing I want to say that I've learned is seasons versus weekly releases. Now, I have been doing the weekly episode. It's a blessing and it's a grind. The consistency that I've done builds trust and a rhythm. And there are definitely moments where I thought a season break would be nice. It gives me that space for planning a theme, resting, recharging my creative batteries. But being weekly has kept me honest. It's the standing appointment I have with all of you. And I would say, in that time frame, some episodes, not my best. I may not love every single one of that I've even produced, but I've had 2 hard episodes that I published. One was after the cracked rib that I had at a pre-WordCamp Orange County go-kart accident. That was I don't know what year was that. That was at least 9 or 10 years ago. I was short of breath because I couldn't, do what I needed to do to get the episode out. I got it done, but it was just a very short episode. And of course, the other hard one was 4 days after my son's accident just last year. So yeah, seasons could have been useful versus their weekly release. But now, and I guess the question begs, if I do a new podcast, will I do it seasons or weekly? I don't know. I think I might do seasons, or I might kind of make it to where it doesn't have to be evergreen content or calendar-based type of thing like upcoming events. I might leave that part of it out, so that way it doesn't have to be every week. Anyway, so there's that. Seasons versus weekly. Weekly's worked. I'm going with it. I'm still going with it until further notice. All right. Another thing I've talked about for a long time would say video content. Now, I have accepted the fact that audio is my comfort zone, but there's no denying that video can add a whole new layer. A short tutorial or a deeper dive once or twice a month could have hit topics that don't translate well to audio. And I've said that before. It's hard to explain technical topics in an audio format. Dustin says it. Kyle used to say it. People say it all the time. It's hard to convey. And YouTube being a discovery engine in its own right, it'd be silly not to use it. I've done some content there. I've a couple of videos I've put up there. I mean, my audio podcast is on YouTube automatically. It's an auto feed through, not FeedBurner, but Libsyn. But it would be nice to have, more video. It gives the people to see me behind the mic, but it takes more time. I have to script, outline, edit, and then maybe at the end of the day, seeing how the sausage is made is what you all might want to see, and having deeper dives. Let me know. We'll come back to that in a minute. But video content, should have, could have, haven't yet. So we'll see. On top of that, moving on to the next one here would be membership and community. And I love me a community. That is surely, I'm not denying that for sure. Membership, it's a whole separate thing, working on that in a different way. But I'm pretty sure I wear that on my sleeve. The WordPress community is by far the longest group of people I've been around. Maybe theater from college would be after that. I don't know. Maybe not. Actually, probably running would be next, obviously. So the idea of membership or community within the podcast has always been tempting. I have a name for the community. I wanted to call it the pantry because the kitchen sink, whatever, the pantry would be kind of neat. Having a place where listeners can connect, learn, support the show. It would be the natural next step. My friend Kyle Van Dusen nailed this with his approach over the admin bar. He built a great community there. And to be honest, it's a great example of how powerful that can be. He's monetized it. He's making a living using it. He has masterminds. I'm not going to lie, little envious. We talked about it. He's a friend. I like him. I'm not envious. I'm happy for him. That's how it is. At first I was like, dang it. But he did the work, and it's hard work. It's such hard work that he doesn't reach out to me much anymore. Kind of sad. Anyway, the tricky part, of course, is making it not just another Slack channel or another just, place that, people forget about, but a place where people want to check in daily or weekly or even hourly for that matter. So yeah, membership community, still in my ideation, but I think it might be moving away a little bit, or maybe more in the running space. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Next one is interviews. Now, I love the solo format because it's efficient, consistent, but interviews, different kind of energy. It's actually an easier show for me to prepare for, technically speaking. But when people flake out or don't show up or have to cancel, it causes a slight stress in me that I have to come up with a new topic or use something that I wasn't prepared to talk about, whatever it may be. So it does create variety, introduces a new voice, brings new listeners when the guests share it on their own as well. But like I said, they can be a scheduling headache. So I'm not rolling out more interviews. Actually, I just reached out to somebody that I talked to at WordCamp US. Be bringing them on probably in the next month. I'm going to try really hard to get at least one interview per month, if not every other month. So kind of, after 52 episodes per year, I don't think that's too bad to ask for. So, okay. It's just about the balance there, right? So moving on here, sponsorships has always been interesting to me. It's quote, the easiest money I can make possibly, having sponsorships. On one hand, they validate the fact that a brand believes my audience is valuable. On the other hand, they do add pressure because if a sponsor is not a natural fit, it's awkward. And I've learned based on that sentence alone that I say no more often than I say yes to receiving sponsorship dollars, because if it doesn't match to who you guys are out there, if it's a product that I can't stand behind and I don't use, I'm not after the money grab. I'm just not. I never have been. I've been offered some fair amounts of money, long-term contracts, but if it doesn't match, if it doesn't feel right, then it's not worth it. I'd rather just, move on to not having a sponsor. Like most of my episodes don't have sponsorships. Would I like to? Sure. Income is income. It's not extra money, it's income. That's how I've always said it. So yeah, I'm talking to a few people off and on consistently, and we'll see if something comes of it this next quarter. Possibly. If you want to sponsor, you can. If it matches, we'll work together. I'll work with you. All right. Moving on. Almost the last one here. Last formal one, and I have a few subs, if you will. Format consistency. So for me, the format that I've landed on has worked. It's short, practical, repeatable. I have the segments every week. Listeners know what to expect, and I think that is half the battle. I've considered changing the format, going much longer. Like when I used to do the episodes with Kyle Maurer at the Get Options podcast, we went just long, and I tried to keep that tight and shorter, but it just didn't. That episode, that format of that podcast had to go 45 minutes to an hour. Just that's how it was. This podcast does not. And I hear time and time again when I meet people in real life, the fact that the majority of my episodes are short and sweet, sub 15 minutes, is the reason people like the show. They like the fact that it's just a tasty bite, if you will, and people keep listening. So I get that a lot. So the format's not going to change. I highly doubt it'll ever change as long as I'm running the show here. So a couple other things worth mentioning, small little mentions here. My tech and production gear has evolved, but it turns out shiny mics, content is better than a new shiny product, looking at my notes here. Case in point, 11 and a half years, I'm still using the same microphone and the same headphones, slightly different arm and different computer, but I use the ATR 2100, USB and XLR. It works. It's fine. I have not upgraded any of that other, the audio stuff. So I think the other thing worth mentioning is discipline. 601 episodes really only happen if you show up week after week, and that's the secret, meaning you do the work. I put out the podcast. Whatever it is, as far as the secret getting it done, just get it done. And last thing, surprises. The surprises are worth mentioning here, meaning that the friendships, the opportunities, the random doors that have been opened because of the podcast, it's something I never expected. The support, again, that you all provided my family after my son's accident was unexpected by any stretch. WordCamp US this past last week and a half ago was a testament to that. People reached out and asked how he was doing. People who didn't know felt bad and gave me a hug. Tears were shed. I'm talking to you, Robert Jacoby, stuff like that. So very much a surprise. Never really expected to do this 11 and a half years in. Still love doing it. It's a passion project. I'm not making a living doing this podcast. Would I like to make a living doing podcasts? You know what? Yes, I would. That'd be awesome, but I'm not. So until then, I just do it out of passion and love for the community. And it's my way of giving back to the WordPress community at large. So what's next? Again, I don't know. I'm planning on sticking around another 52 episodes, another 100 episodes. We'll see what's to come, and we'll just go with that. So there you have it. Those are the takeaways, things I've learned in the past 601 episodes, with this being 602. It's like 11 and a half years consistently. So that's it. That's what I got this week. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This is a service I found out about. I had a meeting with somebody, the guy who created it, Matt Schwartz, I believe, over at WordCamp US. Checkview.io detects broken WordPress forms fast. That's the tagline. Pretty cool. It's a service. There's a pricing to it. I don't have any connection to them. It starts at $35 a month. Pretty neat. And it's really targeted towards agency owners, something you can do for your clients as an add-on service or kind of include it in your service packages. So check it out. I have no connection except that I met with Matt at WordCamp US. Looks pretty cool. Like I said, it starts at $35 a month, and checkview.io. So that's the tip and tool of the week. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead and send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use that speak pipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon. That'd be great. You can also buy me a coffee. Places to do that on the website. If you want to sponsor the show, also go to the website. There's a form you got to fill out. I'll get back to you. And from there, we'll talk about it. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right. Bye-bye.